me take a moment just to explain to you the features, the benefits of this Nathan VaporCloud 2-litre race vest, or hydration backpack you may like to call it. Nathan defined their range of these things by calling them vests. They believe you should wear your water, not just carry it, and hence this looks a little bit more like a vest as opposed to a backpack. Immediately off the bat, you'll see that there are differences with other products on the market. So Camelback, for example, produce a marathoner running vest which stops about here from the material's point of view and then has a strap coming down there, which is more of a backpack type thing. Nathan differentiate themselves and say, no, we want to give you the opportunity of really cinching this thing down to your body, so it's much more like a piece of clothing and not so much like a backpack. Before I go into the features of this a little bit more, let's just talk a moment about hydration, shall we? Because it wasn't that long ago that I was moaning to some of my running friends saying, look, I can't run for more than an hour without literally feeling I want to pass out with nausea. And they spoke to me about lots of different possible reasons. And eventually somebody said, what are you drinking? And nobody had asked that question because they naturally thought I was drinking as I was running, but I wasn't. And when they asked that question and when they realized I wasn't, that was the clear solution, and I felt a bit of a ninny. The fact is, if you're trying to run for anything over an hour and a bit, depending on who you are, depending on your experience, you do need to rehydrate along the way because your body loses a lot of liquid. You need to drink lots before you run, and you need to drink while you run. And that will enable you to run longer, faster, better. Addition to that, you lose a lot of salt when you're running, of course. You sweat, and that sweat loss loses salt, and you've got to replenish your salts. And I didn't know any of this. I know an awful lot about it now because I've done an awful lot of research, but I didn't know any of this at the time. Very important, therefore, that you do that. Hence, you have running packs like this. Now, there are lots of products you can buy. I've got some in my pocket here. One company is High Five, which I've used a lot. And I only use them a lot because they were there. There was a cheap pack when I first started. I got used to it and I haven't changed. So they produce things like this, which is a salt tablet that has 0 calories. And you pop that into 500 millilitres of liquid. What's that? That's 16 ounces. And you run with that. It replenishes your salt while you're drinking. If you're the sort of person that likes energy with your drinks as well, so carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates just to keep you going, they do a range of gels. There's one here which is quite a thick, gloopy. There's an awful lot of sugar in that if you need the energy. And then there's something which is a bit lighter, if you like, and has a bit of fruit juice in it, equally a bit more expensive. But they do those different energy drinks. Never be in a situation where you're trying these for the first time in a race, because they take a bit of getting used to. If you want the energy but you don't want the gloopy sachets, well, you can tip one of these packets again into your water, and these come much more efficiently from an economic point of view in big tubs as well if you want to buy big tubs. But think about nutrition. Definitely take water as you run. It's absolutely essential. Now, I was thinking of doing, back to this now, I was thinking of doing a marathon in a short period of time, and thinking about my water intake. Am I going to be using the water stations, or do I want to carry my water with me? I consume about 700 mils of water every hour while I'm running. Regularly on a weekly basis, I'll do at least a 2-hour run, between 2 and 3 hours. So I do that volume of running. I take a lot of water with me, and I'm thinking, do I need to buy something to hold it better? If that's you, then I would say this is a fantastic specimen of something you might want to use. It has the 2-litre pack in the back. It's completely covered in straps and pockets and zips and things that you may want to have features for carrying stuff with you. If I put it on, if I just move that out of the way and then put it on briefly, show you how it does that. It rides quite high on your body. So you've got these straps here, which kind of, again, is a slightly different mechanism. It's all based on the philosophy that you're wearing your water. So there are straps at the side which are connected to internal straps which tighten around the water pack as you're emptying it. There are straps up here which tighten it at the top and just keep it really close, hugged into your body, if you like. So it's not hanging off the back of you in any way. In terms of what it looks like at the rear, you can see there that there's lots of mesh here for you to put a jacket in. There's a zip pocket up here, another zip pocket down there at the side. There are these hooks here that you can put walking poles in, anything else you want to do with that kind of stuff. There's a lot of storage inside. If you want to squeeze, I don't know, a rain jacket in there or something, that's there too. Nathan, think very much about facilities you might need. So as well, in the back of this, there's a running, an ice pocket, sorry, so you can put some ice in there, which is between your back and the water pack. Also between the water pack and your back is a fairly thick insulating membrane to keep the heat from your back away from the water reservoir. You've got additional pockets on the front, and these pockets are quite sizable. So for example, you can fit an iPhone 6 Plus in these pockets, and it just pokes out the top. You can also fit, if you really want to carry lots of water with you, you can fit another one of those in there. You've got pockets on the side to put gels in or whatever else. You've got a little pocket up here which will contain a tablet for your salt tablet, another zip pocket up here for keys or whatever. So an awful lot of features. Your temptation would be to fill it up. Resist that temptation, because you don't want to be carrying too much around with you. But if you're looking for a fully featured, fully functional running vest that has 2 litres, they do sell models that carry slightly less if you think you'll need less. I'm a 41-inch chest. This is the large stroke extra large, and I wouldn't fit the medium at all. The medium goes up to a 39. If you're anything bigger than a 39, it's meant to fit tight, and these are snug devices. So I would get the large stroke extra large. If you're anything around 40-inch or above chest, I would definitely get the large. Obviously, I haven't tried the woman's one on. In terms of additional features that I really like, it's got a magnetic clasp just down there, and an additional clip on the tube here that'll go on there, so you can adjust where that clip sits on the tube. So again, while you're running, you can have the tube in a really good place. You don't have to keep tucking it in or it flapping around. You can have it either side, you can thread it. It's very, very functional, very, very flexible, an awful lot of features and facilities. It's if you want a running vest, if you're looking for something which will put 2 litres securely on your back, well, I can't think of anything better. There are alternative products, like I say, there's the Camelbacks that have slightly less material down there, so slightly less pockets, and a strap, so slightly less functionality in terms of being able to cinch it down. Now, why wouldn't you want this? Well, first of all, it of course weighs something. Now on its own, it weighs over 600 grams. That's what, 1.5 pounds? Now that's it's not an insignificant weight, but then when you compare it to 2 litres of water, it's not a significant weight neither. But it does weigh that. I mean, I think the Camelbacks weigh about 2/3 of that, so just over 450 grams or something, or 1 pound. So there's that little difference there. But like I say, when you compare that to the 2 litres of water you've got in the back anyway, does it really make that much difference? The other feature you need to think about, and I thoroughly recommend that if you're going to wear one of these in any kind of race or competitive environment, that you get hold of one a good few months before you actually need to use it, so you can train with it, because it's a very different way of running. You've got this tied to your back, you've got a lot of water in there, it's a weight, and you really, really, really need to get used to that. Do not go into a race having tried this for the first time in the race. Give it some time to really work with it and get used to it, because it's going to affect and influence the way you run. It's just heavy, but that's one of those things. Water is heavy. The other thing which you might want to think about, now I don't know if you're like me, you run quite tight. You wear, when I'm running, my running t-shirts are quite tight fitting. I make sure there's nothing flapping around, so I just feel kind of tight when I'm running, if you like. So I don't have to, I don't know, you've not got stuff flapping around, and you can just relax into your run, and you can think about your run, and there's no other distractions, if you like. This, however, when you're running, it's got a lot of straps, it's got a lot of zips, there's a lot going on there, and you can tie a lot of it down, of course you can, but there's still an awful lot going on, yeah? And you've got to think, can you cope with that? That's another reason to get it before you run with it, and just think, can I cope with that? Because a lot of people aren't going to be able to cope with that. It's just going to be too much for them. The other thing, as you saw when I was wearing it, it's quite tight on the chest, and it's meant to be quite tight because it's meant to, let's say tight, it's meant to be fitting, just like a running vest, if you like. Now, I find that initially quite constraining. I don't know what you're going to feel like, and I don't know what it'll feel like over time, but initially it's quite constraining. I know it took me a while to get used to a heart rate monitor. Again, that could, just because there was something around my chest. And this, again, is quite tight, and you're thinking, oh, have I got the freedom to breathe? So again, it's just a question of getting used to that. I'm sure it'll work out, I'm sure it'll be great, but it does take a bit of getting used to. But if you're in the market for one of these things, Nathan really focus on quality. They put immense thought into every detail of their products and every aspect of this. There are no rough seams anywhere. So if this is going to go against your skin at all, it's going to feel comfortable. It's not going to, or it shouldn't rub. It's just a high quality product which has been really well manufactured. There are no faults, no errors with this whatsoever, and every single detail of it has been meticulously thought through in terms of its worth and its contribution to running experience. It does weigh a bit, but then 2 litres of water is going to weigh a lot anyway, so you're looking at having weight on you if that's what you're going to do. So if you do think you're going to need to carry that water with you, then this is a really good way of doing it, I would suggest. It'll also double up on a day out or something in the hills, as well as taking your water. You can shove a lot more. You can loosen all the straps and shove a bit more in this if you want to. So it's quite functional from that point of view. I would thoroughly recommend it. It's the Nathan VaporCloud 2 litre race vest, and if this is the sort of thing you're looking for in terms of product category, then I don't think you could go wrong with something like this. Right, having just discussed the Nathan running vest, what I thought I would do is show you an alternative. This is not a garter, it is a running or water hydration belt. So it's the sort of thing that fits around your waist, much lower profile. It's got a couple of pockets here for a couple of smaller water bottles. It comes with a couple, but you can shove other ones in here if you want to. I've used this quite a lot. I think it takes about, total between the two bottles, 1.2 litres, which is, what's that, up to 40 ounces, something like that of water. Not a huge amount, but enough to keep you going. It works. It sits on your, just below your, or on your hips, just below your waist. Centre of gravity is quite good. I've not had any problems with it. For those shorter instances where you just need a bit of water to keep you going, a little bit of a pocket for some gels. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it really works. It's an alternative if you just want something not quite as much literage, not quite as much bulk as a running vest, so you're not going quite so far in terms of water carrying, but you just want a little bit to keep you going, or something to start off with to see how you get on with carrying your water. Really recommend one of these. I'll put a link in for you in the description if I can find where I got it from on Amazon.